Hold your horses. What's your flash posting?
Oh, it's raining cats and dogs out there. I got a right sackful this morning.
Blimey, them all for us?
No, Mum. A couple here for Mr. Misery.
Oh?
Your landlord.
Oh.
And a Council of Moons Committee minutes.
Yeah.
And this one's from Aberdeen. It's probably from his mate in the sanatorium. And these will be from his constituents.
Yeah.
And here's a turn-up for the book. One for you.
Hey?
Mrs. V.P. Moon. All tight. Nice quality stationery. You don't get much on this round. WC1 postmark. Who'd you know in grazing?
Well, only Harvey. Only he wouldn't have to write to me, would he?
Why don't you go and open it?
It says private and confidential.
Well, better get a move on. I got a letter here for the Becketts, number 48, from their daughter in Canada. They've been waiting on this for weeks.
Morning, postman.
Sure.
Oh, Mrs. Moon. Are you all right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just a bit winded.
What bad news?
These are for you.
Bills. Mrs. Moon, I'm not a doctor, but to me it looks like you need a cup of tea.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to intrude.
Intrude? No, I must have my supper anyway.
Supper? At 9 o'clock in the morning? Is that something to do with being Jewish?
No, Mrs. Moon, it is something to do with working in the night. Come, it's me.
So, who else would it be at this hour in the morning? Oh, Miss Moon, I'm sorry.
I hope I'm not intruding.
No, of course not.
Mrs. Moon just had some unwelcome news.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It was just a bit of a shock.
So I said that you would make her a cup of tea.
Yes, of course. Maybe you would like a little bean and barley soup?
No, thank you. No, I just had some breakfast.
Well, sit down, Mrs. Moon.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I suppose you only start to feel old yourself when people you know pop off.
Hmm?
Pass over.
Passover?
Die.
Oh, I'm sorry. What family?
No, someone I used to work for.
Mrs. Moon just lost a friend.
Oh, I'm very sorry, Mrs. Moon.
But thank God it wasn't family.
Eric, drink your soup.
Oh, thank you.
She was very good to me when I was in service, was Miss Cunningham.
Miss Cunningham?
Oh, well, she was the boss's daughter. I mean, I couldn't have called her Edith, could I?
Ah, so she never married?
No, because after the Great War, her mother died and she spent the best years of her life looking after her brother. So, after all that, she's passed on and left no family, and according to this letter, I am a sole beneficiary. That's right.
Oh, you know what that means?
No.
That means she left everything to you.
Blimey. Well, I better tell Harvey. Can I lend your blower?
My what?
The telephone, yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. You don't need to ask. Just put tuppence in the box when you finish.
Eric.
Yes, just a moment, please. Harvey, it's a call for you.
I didn't know you had your own clients, Moon.
It's your mum.
Oh, look, tell her calm.
Well, she says it's important.
All right, get it over with.
Hello? What is it? Yeah, hold on. Have you got a pencil, Mr. Ryder? You've never... Yeah, of course I remember her. Ha! Well, talk about a turn up for the book. All right, Mum, fire away. Yeah, I'll phone them right now.
Now, look, Moon, you
Yeah?
will not phone her right now.
What, how are you in yourself?
Moon.
Right, yeah, of course, yeah?
Now, look here, Moon.
See you tonight.
I have told you...
Look, I know this is an imposition, Mr. Ryder, but can I make one quick telephone call to Gilmore Firmston and Partners?
Of course you may. In your lunch break, from the call box in Lamb's Conduit Street.
Look, I've got to phone them right now, because they've just written to me mum to tell her she's coming to inheritance.
Oh? In that case, I hope it's a large one.
Do you?
Yes. Because if you lay one finger on that telephone, I'll make sure you're back on the dole by tea time.
What a delicate little knock you've got, Harvey. I barely heard it.
Sorry to bother you. It's Ryder.
Is it? I must need glasses. Oh, I thought so. This is Ryder. You are Moon.
He won't let me use the telephone.
It is a personal call, Master Richard.
It's urgent. I mean, I'm not a liberty taker.
Can't you
I beg
sort
to
this
differ.
out amongst yourselves, please?
I mean, you know me, Dick. I wouldn't normally ask.
Oh, go on, make your blasted call. We're wasting time discussing this.
Cheers, Dick.
Master Richard, with respect, I am managing clerk. If you overrule me in front of a
Don't
junior...
be such a pompous little tick.
Enter.
Now tell me, Moon, was your presence in my portal consequent upon Mr. Barker sending you to be commended on a particularly fine piece of Latin translation? Or have you, as I very much fear, incurred that good man's wrath once again?
I don't understand the question, sir.
Why are you here, Moon?
Mr. Barker said I was cheeky in class.
And were you?
Not really, sir.
Not really.
All we keep doing is a mo, a mass, and a mat, and mensa, mensa, mensam. So I asked Mr. Barker if all the Romans went round saying how much they love tables.
I suppose that made all the other boys laugh, eh? Do you know what this is, Moon?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It's a cane, sir.
Right, Moon. Now, there are some young men in my school who seem incapable of absorbing the elements of discipline through any part of their body save their buttocks. If you want to save your buttocks, Moon, I suggest you apologise to Mr. Barker, reconcile yourselves to spending tonight and tomorrow night in headmaster's detention, and make sure you're not sent to see me under similar circumstances again. Any questions?
Yes, sir. What's a buttock?
Half of what you will undoubtedly sit on very gingerly should you be sent to see me again. Come, now cut along.
Still raining.
Oh, you should audition for Carol Levis Discoveries, you should. Oh, bloody hell, I'm going out after me stockings are soaked.
Well, hang 'em over the oven door.
Where's Stanley then?
I don't know, playing football.
He's probably got kept in after school again. What are you doing?
Cooking.
Are you feeling all right? Yeah, I made ever such a good sale today.
Yeah?
I sold this foreign woman from abroad a cloche. At least I think that's what she asked for. Then she kept hanging about, so I sold her a picture and an halo and all. Mr. Brandon was ever so pleased with
Oh,
me.
I bet he was.
Says he's going to put me on commission next week, what with all the Christmas trade coming in.
That's good.
Sends his best wishes, Mr. Brandon.
Oh,
He asked me to ask you if you was feeling all right.
nothing wrong with
Are
me.
you sure?
Now, I mixed it, I creamed it, I sifted it. Now what? Fold in the flour.
You're changing the subject.
Look, Margaret, it's very simple. Sometimes you meet a fellow, you think he's very nice, and then later on you find you're not, you know, simpatico.
You mean you didn't fancy him?
Something like that. How'd you fold flour? Oh, bugger it. You going out with that Tom tonight?
I'm not the cat's mother. As it happens, I'm going out with my friend Veronica.
What, the one with the eye?
Oh, it's not her fault. I really like Tom, but...
Ah, but he's giving you the bum's rush.
No. It's Lou.
Oh, the terror from beyond the grave.
Mum! Oh, hello, Jim. Come in. Mum, it's the man from the Pro!
Oh, Jim, oh, my God, look at the stains of you. Here, Max, hang that over the bath, love. There, I'll take you out, love.
How's Stanley at the new school?
Oh, it's fine. Another month already, then, eh?
Time flies, don't it? It's going to be Christmas.
Oh, don't remind me. Here you are, love.
Oh, Tar. Dirty night, eh?
Oh, that would be nice. How much is it, then?
£6, same as always.
Oh, Max, can you lend a £6 bob?
If I lend you £6, Bob, I won't be able to go out.
Hang on. Little bugger.
Rita.
I'll pay you back tomorrow.
So, you're 38 next week, eh?
Oh, you know how to cheer a woman up, don't you?
You've forgotten, haven't you?
Look, Jim, age is something a woman never
You
forgets.
took this policy out in January 27 with Mr. Cunliffe from our Highbury office. Of course, he passed on in August 1939.
Oh, the stroke some fellas use to avoid call-up.
Yeah. I don't suppose you imagined when you committed yourself to the then substantial amount of 1 1/10 a week.
Do you mean it's up?
Congratulations.
Oh, here you are.
Of course, now you'll be wanting to discuss with me the reinvestment of your capital sum.
Oh, not on your puff. How much I got coming?
Well, head office will issue you the cheque, but I estimate something in the region of £97, 14 shillings and 5 pence.
Roughly.
Roughly.
Here, do you drink on duty?
Only spirits.
Mum, Linda's a pair of your stockings. Oh, blimey, he's a cutie.
Blimey, look at the state of you.
Never mind me. How about you? Must have come as a bit of a shock.
Oh, I'm all right. Your feet have made me a nice cup of tea.
Stupid bloody fancy dress. I feel like that Burt Chamberlain on his way home from Munich.
Did you talk to anyone?
Yeah, I phoned him up.
And?
Got another bollocking from Ryder.
Language.
Bloody good name for him, Ryder, because he's always on my back. Well, he's riding for a fool if he thinks he'd go on treating me like a snotty-nosed tea-boy.
Well, what about the will?
Eh?
Well, Miss Cunningham's last will, or whatchamacallit?
Oh, yeah, that. We got to meet the old girl's solicitor on Saturday.
No, not so much of the old girl. Now, did they say how much?
Said that was between him and you.
Oh, it's funny, really, because I lost touch with Miss Cunningham after she got bombed out and went to live in the country.
Streatham ain't a country.
Well, it's a flipping long way from Hackney, though, isn't it? Oh, that reminds me. I've got a letter for you from Lou.
He ain't dead and all, is he?
If he were, he wouldn't have written us about it, would he? I didn't open it. So what's happening?
Dear Harvey, how are you all? I'm getting much better. Doc says I could be cured by Easter. The next bit's harder to say, Harvey. The thing is, I've fallen hook, line and sinker for this wonderful nurse called Morag MacDonald. And it's mutual. She's Scottish, by the way. I realise this news may break Maggie's heart. So, I was wondering if...
He don't want you to tell Maggie, does he?
But that's thieving.
Don't you take that tone of voice with me.
Them's my savings for Christmas and things. I was going to buy something nice for your birthday, but you've had it now.
I wish I hadn't told you now.
Oh, well, I wouldn't have noticed, would I?
Well, you never noticed last week when I was short of the milkman's
No,
money.
that's because you didn't smash it to bits last week. Anyway, if I'd ever gone over your purse, you'd beaten the living daylights out of me.
Look, any more of your lip and I will. Who's that?
Probably the neighbours. Complaining about the noise.
Good evening, Stanley. I hope I haven't called at an inconvenient time.
I'll find out.
Here, Stan, cop hold of that. It's hot. It's very careful. It's very, very, very hot. On the table. There. Oh, look at that. It's come right up.
Yeah, they never normally do that, do they?
Who was at the door?
My headmaster.
Well, where is he now?
Oh, still there, I suppose.
Stupid. Oh, Mr. Compton, come in. Come in.
Thank you.
Oh, dear.
Filthy night.
It is. I am sorry. I was in the kitchen with the cake. Oh, all fingers. Let me help you.
Oh, thank you.
There. Now, do go through.
Thank you.
There. Mind your head. Would you like a cup of tea?
Well, thank you, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. I was just hoping to have a brief word with you and Mr. Moon about Stanley.
You've been in trouble again, has he?
Oh, nothing too serious.
You just wait, my boy.
Sir didn't let me, so why should you?
I was hoping to have a word with you both.
What, me and Stan?
You and Wing Commander Moon. Is he home yet?
Yeah, probably.
Well, I'm afraid my husband has a great deal of evening business, you know, what with the council and everything.
And his night classes.
He lectures.
Look, he may well be sometime, so perhaps you better tell me what the little bastard, what Stan's been up to.
Well, I'm afraid he's been misbehaving in Latin.
Oh, well, that's progress, isn't it? A few weeks ago, he could only do it in English.
Much as I admire your sense of humour, Mrs. Moon, you must realise that I would not have called unless I was seriously concerned.
Yes, of course. Stan,
Go to your room.
you're going to sling him out, then?
Certainly not. No, I would never expel a boy except for a really serious offence, such as stealing, which needless to say, would never manifest itself in a house such as this. No, it's precisely because I do so admire your husband's achievements that I know you and he would want to help me to help Stanley overcome these little disciplinary problems, which I'm sure could be nipped in the bud.
Oh, of course.
After all, few things can destroy a strong, united family.
Unfortunately, we ain't.
We aren't what?
United. Look, it's about time someone told you, Mr. Compton, but Harvey and me ain't lived together since the Krauts invaded Poland.
But I was quite certain.
Well, it's not that he don't look after the boys' interests, because he does, but Ben Lyons and Bibi Daniels, we ain't.
All right, son?
Yeah, old Compton's here, Dad.
Right you are. Come over that. Hello, dear. Am I glad to be on? Ah, Mr. Compton, what a pleasant surprise.
Good evening, Mr. Moon.
Home baking? Nothing like it, eh? Oh, it's been one of those days. Some of them councillors, they do go on. Anyone would think they had no homes to go to.
It's all right, Harvey. He knows you don't live here.
There you are. Told you we're in the country.
Well, heck of a long ride on that bus, though, wasn't it? I've been feeling sick as a dog ever since the Elephant and Castle. Mind you, I've never really been comfortable this side of the river.
Ah, we're nearly there. Hey, you get excited.
Well, I feel peculiar. I mean, why should Miss Cunningham leave everything to me? We weren't family. Haven't even seen her since '44. I don't deserve it, Harvey.
It's her decision. We could start a little business. I can't see myself cowed down to that fish-faced rider for the rest of my natural.
Well, don't spend it before we got it, Harvey.
There he is.
Blimey.
Mr. Moon?
It's me, Mr. Gilmore.
Correct. I understand you're with Balfour, Elliott and Garb.
Yeah, Oldby should be in the same game.
He's an apprentice managing clerk.
This is my mother, Mrs. Violet Moon.
The sole beneficiary.
That's me. Do you anticipate any problems in the granting of probate?
No. It's a very simple will.
What's the score then?
Unfortunately, Miss Cunningham was the last surviving member of the family.
Must have been rotten for her.
Which made her a lady of considerable wealth.
Yes, she always had lovely biscuits when I went for tea, even before the Yanks came into the war.
Really? You know, that was until she was bombed out in 1944 when she converted her assets, against our advice, incidentally, bought an annuity and came to live in a private hotel here in Streatham. As I'm sure you're aware, Mr. Moon, an annuity lapses at death.
Well, you ain't telling us you brought us all the way over here and the old girl died of skin.
On the contrary, she did leave something in the way of estate. Have you followed me?
A bit big, Harvey. Too big for us two.
I've always fancied a bit of gardening.
Of course, we could always take in lodgers, I suppose.
Bed and breakfast.
There we are.
Gordon Bennett.
Armstrong Sidley, actually.
Smart new motor you got there, Councillor Moon?
Yeah, come up a tree. See your face in her.
Yeah, I'd heard you change your job.
Hey?
Done a bit of chauffeuring before, have you?
Do you mind? This is my car.
Oh, gone over to the Tories now, have we?
Now, come on, it's a bit early for all that.
Morning, Mrs. Moon.
Morning.
What you all doled up for, Mum?
It's Sunday.
So? Don't have to put in your best to collect my news of the world.
News of the world. That's all Sunday means to him.
Only get it for the football.
Well, Miss Cunningham going off sudden like that has made me realise a few things. I mean, I've always been a God-fearing soul, even though I haven't visited the house of the Lord as often as I might. So I have decided that as from today, I shall spend my Sunday mornings in church. You don't happen to know where the nearest one is, do you?
Yeah, well, it's hard to write a composition about anything in the world. If I told us what to write about...
Right, I'll tell you what to write about. You write about a cheeky little sod whose mum and dad want to have a good go at winning the first form composition prize so they can save a bit of face.
Well, I'm stuck.
You ain't getting up until you put something down.
Well, I'll put down a date.
Come on, Stanley, we're dropping names at 1 o'clock.
Oscar.
Oi, you! Less of the air, all right? All right, you get down there, but if you ain't got something down in that book by next Friday, you can kiss your Christmas present goodbye.
You say that in this car you drove all the way from Streatham?
Just. We had to give her a push start. I thought my mum was going to pass out.
What? You allowed Mrs. Moon to push the car?
Well, what do you think?
Oh. No, she's beautiful.
And this is beautifully clean.
Good.
Unfortunately, it should have oil on it.
Oh, I've got some 3-in-1 indoors.
A gallon tin.
Oh.
Do you know anything about cars, Harvey?
No, not really. I had to get that lawyer bloke to drive it here.
What? You mean you can't even drive?
If you will take my advice, Harvey, this car should be seen by an expert.
Yes, an antique dealer, no?
Ah, come off it. These motors were built to last. I mean, look at all the work that's gone into that. They're the best cars in the world are British. I mean, who invented the internal combustion engine, anyway?
Gottlieb Daimler.
You sure?
Yeah, he was Austrian.
Gottlieb, family, was he?
No. Daimler is a very common name in our country, like Armstrong is here.
Well, Sidley, I know hundreds of Sidleys.
Oh,
Hey, the boot.
Huh?
Perhaps in the boot there's some oil.
Oh, right. Oh, he knows his way round a car, your brother. What boot?
If you like, I'll teach you to drive.
I thought you had a chauffeur in Vienna.
We did. But Klaus showed me how. What's this? Was she a doctor or something?
No, not really. She was 18 carat, upper class. Never done a stroke. You're the one that saw her off.
Well, I've done everything that I know.
Hello, Mum. Full house.
Bit of respect, Harvey. The Lord is all hearing.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Moon.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't recognize you, Mr. Gottlieb.
Frida and Eric have been helping me get a shipshape.
Oh, he preached a beautiful sermon, Reverend Rodwell. We're all as young as we feel, he says.
Be lovely when we get it going, eh?
He says, look at all the great things that people have done in the autumn of their lives. Look at Winston Churchill and Bernard Shaw. And, you know, your Abraham didn't beget Isaac till he was pushing 100.
That is very true.
Frida's very kindly offered to give me driving lessons, so I'll be able to run you down the shop.
Yes, it's no bother.
No, there's no need for that, son.
No, I don't mind.
No, what I mean is this is my car. I'm going to learn to drive it myself.
Well, that's ridiculous. A woman of your age is undignified. I mean, why did it break down in the back of Beyond? I mean, you're in no shape to get out and get under her, are you? And let's face it, your eyesight ain't all it used to be.
Look, Harvey, this is my car left to me by my beneficiary.
Where are you getting all this legal jargon from?
Don't change the subject. I shall do what I like with my own car. I am not saying that I won't give you a lend of it when I'm not using it.
It's not a matter who uses it. I've got your welfare at heart.
Oh, that's the trouble with you Labourites. You always think you know what's best for everybody else.
Oh, don't start all that again. I'm going down the pub.
Oh.
You all right?
Nah, silly old...
Come on, you should be pleased your mother shows such spirit.
That's not spirit. That's sheer bloody mindedness. I need a drink. Well, come.
Come where?
Well, the pub. I don't fancy breaking the ice on the horse trough.
Ah, the pub. I've never been into a pub before.
Huh? Well, what do you think?
About what?
My local. Fine example of the British public house.
Oh, yes, it's very... Is cozy the right word?
No, I don't think so.
Crowded, smoky?
Well, you'll get used to it. It's all part of the atmosphere.
Harvey, why am I the only woman here?
Well, they're all home cooking Sunday dinner. Plenty of ladies down here every evening. Look, if you want to leave...
No. It's an education. I mean, You take me to the most interesting places.
Promise.
I promise.
You're just being sarcastic, taking a right.
No. Well, just a little.
I'll do my best. It's not easy asking out your landlord's sister.
Oh, Harvey, it's taken you 6 months.
Perhaps I'm just playing hard to get.
Oh, but you're not hard to get.
All right, why don't we go out tonight? Go to West, see a show. I know it's Sunday. Well, we go to pictures. Take the car. You can drive.
Oh, listen, Harvey, it's very sweet of you to ask, but I'm already going out tonight.
Oh, anyone I know?
Yes, actually.
For your brother?
No, your boss.
Dick Elliott?
No, his father.
Mr. Quentin, he's past 60.
So?
Why him?
Well, because he's a charming gentleman who was of great help to my brother and me, and... Well, he asked, Harvey.
Well, I thought you and me, you know.
Oh, listen, I'm sorry. I'm not telepathic. No. You must let me buy you a drink.
No. Women ain't supposed to.
May I?
Tell.
I thought we had a date the other evening, Rita.
Yeah, I didn't feel up to it.
Obviously. What is it, Rita? Am I too old for you?
No.
Too staid?
No. Don't think so.
I mean, am I too boring?
Oh, no, far from it.
I know, Rita, that you're used to men who make a pass at you on the first date.
Yeah, at least by the third.
Well, Rita, I am not that sort of man.
No, I know. I know what sort of man you are. And that's not the sort of man I want to see. See, I know you only go out with women so that your mum won't know that you're... It's not that I've got anything against Nancy. Oh, Christ. Look, you just piss off, right? Oh, talk about the eternal bleeding change.
I can't help the way I am, Rita. None of us can.
I'm sorry I called you a nurse.
Who told you?
Monty.
Some friend.
Well, he was getting his own back after I slung him out. He knew he wouldn't go no further.
So that's it then, is it, Rita? A man's no good to you unless he rips off your clothes and...
No!
Well, that's what you seem to be saying. Look, this may come as a surprise to you, Rita, but I like you. I like you a lot. We get on awfully well, you know, and we've had some very good times. And I wish most sincerely to keep you as a friend. You know, there is more to life than sex, Rita. And your track record, if you don't mind me saying so, hardly indicates that heterosexualism leads to joy unconfined.
Come again?
Well, let's face it, when you get it, it's not good enough. Well, with me, you won't get it, which could be quite a relief.
Do you really mean to say you like me for myself?
Amazing, isn't it?
No sex?
Yeah. Oh, I realize, of course, that we're moving into an area with which you are totally unfamiliar.
Oh, too true. Yes, of course, you talk about my marriage.
Here's the one I was looking for. There's Miss Cunningham, there's Mr. and Mrs. Cunningham, and that's their son what died in the Great War.
Which one's you, Nan?
That's me on the far right.
It's not, is it?
Oh, he was so handsome.
Who was, Nan?
Miss Cunningham's fianced, Lieutenant Finch. Volunteered for the Boer War and never came back.
Did he die in hero?
No. Married an African girl, bought a sheep farm.
Smells good. No one laid a table. Stan, Megs.
Oh, friendly crowd down the pub then?
Our usual mob. Ron, Ellen.
Which of them was wearing lipstick?
Eh?
Come here.
I bought Frida a sherry.
This is better than a lucky dip down the fairground. Oh, sterling silver. I bet these are worth a few bob, ain't they?
Yeah, well, you're not flogging them the amount of time I spent polishing them in the old days.
Oh, well, they look a bit blunt to me.
Yeah, and they're a funny shape,
They're
aren't they?
fish knives.
That's right. They're especially wide so you can balance your chips on them.
Oh, look, love letters.
Oh, show
Now,
us.
those are private. You wouldn't want people
Oh,
poking
bloody
at those-
hell.
What is it?
Oh, I'm sorry, Megs.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it's this letter, honey. I forgot all about it.
Harvey, you didn't.
That's right, I didn't.
Is it about my Lou?
Is Uncle Lou dead?
Lou's dead and you forget to tell me about
Of
it!
course he's not dead. He's just fallen in love with this nurse.
Nan, no, I feel...
Sorry, Mags, I meant to break it to you gently.
Yeah, as gentle as a doodlebug.
Here, Dad, is that you when you was little?
Look, I come round your mum's to tell you, only Stanley's headmaster showed up.
Here, Nan, is that a picture of Dad when he was little?
No, it's somebody else's baby. Look, I got a top of whiskey somewhere.
Want some more tea?
Anything stronger?
Coffee.
Very good, but I prefer brandy. Well, Stanley, Margaret, I hope you had a good lunch.
All right.
What's the matter with her?
Well, she's upset because Uncle Lou's getting better.
Eh? Yeah.
Thank you, Rita.
How could you drink that stuff?
Stan!
Oh, anyway, he's fallen for this nurse called Morag. Funny name, Morag.
Who, might I ask, is Uncle Lou?
Maggie's bloke. Well, he was.
He's something Harvey picked up in India.
You make him sound like a tropical disease.
It's a bit like that, yeah.
Well, anyway, he ain't coming back, and Maggie's even more upset because she told that Tom she couldn't see him anymore because of Lou, and Tom already knows that Lou's a friend of Dad,
Yeah,
so...
well, Rita, I think I better be going. Bye,
No,
Stanley.
you got to listen to...
Stan! Thanks for the flowers.
My pleasure.
See you again, then.
A bientôt.
Ever seen you.
Maggie told me you weren't seeing him anymore.
I changed my mind.
Yeah, but why?
Because I want to.
What was he doing here?
Oh, my God. Here, Mags, I'm ever so sorry about Lou.
No, you're not. You're glad. You never liked him.
That ain't true.
Then why'd you call him a tropical disease?
see?
I was only joking. Anyway, what are you sticking up for him for when he's off having an island fling?
Oh, I don't know why. Oh, Mum, it's not fair.
Well, look on the bright side, Mags. If Uncle Lou gets married, he might ask you to be a bridesmaid.
What I don't understand is that if you feel so nostalgic about a place, why you ain't been back in, what, 20 years?
Not all my memories are good ones, Harvey.
Then why do you want to go back now?
Because of all this. Sometimes you bury things in the back of your mind and then suddenly... Anyway, we've got a car now, we can go out for the day. Make a picnic of it.
You know, I've always liked picnics in December.
We can take a thermos. Used to be a lovely little town. Stan and Maggie love it.
So if Maggie ever talks to me again after the ricket I made over Lou's letter.
She'll still want to run in my car, though. Only thing is, can I learn to drive it properly by Saturday?
One box of free Star Vapets. I thought your terms were 28 days to pay. All right, cash on delivery, but you know you're taking liberties.
Yeah, have I come at a bad time?
Joking, love. We need all the clients we can get. Bastards.
Hey?
Old suppliers. You're a few days late with one cheque. First time in 10 years, mind. Or maybe the second. All of a sudden, it's cash on the nail, silly buggers. I said silly buggers. She's all right. She don't know what we're talking about.
How's been?
Oh, as per usual. Goes to work, comes home from work, goes to the pub, comes home from the pub, goes to bed, falls asleep. He's no trouble.
Better than nothing, I suppose.
How's your lot then?
Well, Meg's is in the dumps because her bloke's giving her the push and Stan's in trouble at school.
As per usual then.
Yeah, you could say that. I was thinking of having it a bit different for a change.
Oh, short styles are going to be very popular. Excuse me. Next year.
Oh, yeah.
Leave that a minute, Jonas, will you, and go make Mrs. Moon a cup of tea? Me and all.
Oh, Tom. Do you think short suit? No.
Well, you could have a bubble perm, 23 and 9.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm saving my money.
That's what's so popular about them suppliers. I mean, there's going to be a big demand for hairdos. Perms, Marcel waving, you name it. But you can't do it without the right requisites. On top of these dries are on their last legs. Hang on a minute. 5 minutes, love.
Is she all right?
Never had a serious casualty yet.
It sounds to me like you're undercapitalised.
That's what the bank manager said.
So how much do these dryers cost, then?
I know where I can get a couple second hand. But who's got 30 quid cash lying around?
Me.
You.
So you are going?
No, I'm dressed like this to read a library book.
I can't believe it. You're actually going to drive a car on Shabbos?
Don't worry, you'll eat. I put your lunch in the
Why,
oven.
you think I can eat? I don't have to tell you to shop as law.
No, Eric, you don't. Oh, God, why do you give yourself such anguish?
Well, I wouldn't mind if once in a while you went out with somebody Jewish.
Well, they don't ask. I think they're all frightened of me.
Do you blame them?
So, Harvey isn't frightened.
Harvey, a 40-year-old office boy, you should excuse me.
He's a Labour councillor, too.
Frida, if General Franco stood around here for Labour, he would also be elected. Now, going out with Quentin Elliott, this I can understand. After all, he's helped to get Yosla out from the internment camp.
So is Harvey.
But that is different.
How is it different?
Because you like him.
So I like him. It doesn't mean I'm going to marry him.
God forbid. A man who takes my sister into public houses.
Oh, if I'm such a fallen woman, you better pray extra hard today.
Oh, I will. And you'd better hope that God is merciful and doesn't vent his wrath on that motor car.
See, I told you where that are.
Dad, can I have a go here?
Shut up, Steve.
Is this really where you used to live, Nan?
Yeah,
Where was your room then?
at the top in the attic. Some things never change, eh, Harvey?
Well, I don't like it.
What?
The countryside. Reminds me of when I got evacuated. I hated that.
Who lives here now, then?
I don't know.
Who lives here now, Dad? Dad!
Dunno. Well, it says here, War Department property, but now the war's over, they've probably given it back to the civilian owners.
Oh, mein lieber Gott.
All right. What's your game?
We just wanted to look inside the house.
Oh, I'll bet you did, Fräulein.
Oh, no, go on. I like a tune.
Any tune?
Yeah.
Someday he'll come along, the man I love. And he'll...
Thank you. I prefer my own chair. Oh, with rationing, it's so difficult. I hope you've had enough to eat, Mrs. Moon.
Oh, ample. Here.
I'm sorry we had to lunch so late, but Leo keeps the shop open till noon on Saturdays.
Oh, of course. It was extremely kind of you to allow Margaret the morning off.
Oh, not at all. She's shaping up quite nicely.
Maggie likes fashion.
So, now you are going to enlist in our army of small shopkeepers.
Well, with the help of Charlie Coombs.
Oh, no, Leo has a very good friend who's a solicitor, if you need any help.
Oh, no, I'm concerned any paperwork I got to Harvey's office.
Harvey?
This is my husband, Margaret's father.
Oh, yes, good. Leo, I'm sure Mrs. Moon would like some coffee.
Oh, of course, Mother. How thoughtful. Oh, Rita, perhaps you prefer some brandy?
Oh, brandy at this hour for ladies, really?
Just coffee.
Cam?
I'll have one too, dear.
Of course, Mother.
Rita, do you, like Leonard? Leonard?
Oh, you mean... Oh, yes. Well, we've only known each other a few weeks, but yes, we get on famously. Leonard and I.
So, you are still married?
Well, in the eyes of the law, I suppose, yeah.
It's always been a mystery to me why Leo has never found anyone he can settle down with.
Well, I'm sure he's had plenty of offers.
Yeah, that's it. No, sis, like this, right? Just cup your hands.
Anyone want anything before they close?
No, thanks. Wait, Dad, do you think you'll be sent to an army prison?
That'd be daft.
Or an ordinary prison like Uncle Lou?
That soldier's only joking.
His bayonet weren't made of rubber, though, was it?
So what should we do now, then?
How about a game of football? How about a nice drive home? I'm bloody freezing.
I want to go and look at the churchyard.
Hey?
Well, we come all this way. I don't want to miss nothing.
Come on, then.
It's all right. I'd rather go by myself.
Dad, she's been acting ever so queer since we got here, ain't she?
No, not really. People your grandmother's age, they like to visit the graves of those they've lost.
Mum ain't got anyone buried here except the Cunninghams. I can't see her getting all misty over them.
Do you think Nan's got a skeleton in her cupboard then?
Skeleton?
It's rather a bad choice of word under the circumstances.
Maybe she had a torrid love affair with one of them, and he promised to marry her, right? But then he went off and got mortally wounded in an hunting accident.
Yeah, or war or something like
You didn't half go on, you two.
Well, I'll certainly go and have a look for you. It may take a little while. I'm not quite sure where I might have put them.
This is boring. I know.
We shouldn't.
No?
Not in church.
Oh. I'm exempt.
Here we are. Now, 1902, 3, 4. I think that's the year you're seeking. Of course, that was before I entered the ministry.
Blimey. Oh, sorry, Vicar.
Are you quite well?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Thank you, Father. Goodbye.
Look, I'll explain it all to you later. Why don't you tell me about a sister?
It weren't something to brag about when I was a girl.
Who was the father?
Edgar. He was Miss Cunningham's favourite brother.
What happened to her?
Measles? I mean, whoever hears of anybody dying of measles nowadays? Oh, you're a good boy, Harvey.
Come on. Better get you back to the car.
Where'd you get that rose, Harvey?
I finched it out of Vicar's front garden. I put a couple of bob in the box.
You mean this got you here all the way from London?
Yeah. Well, what's wrong with it then?
Well, what's right with it?
All right, God, you win. Next week I'll go to shul. Just start the car.
Oh, give it a go. Waste of time, but let's give it a go.
Oh, I'll do it for you, mister. Take it.
Make sure it's in neutral.
It's useless. I mean, there's nothing there. It's your rings have gone.
Rings?
Yeah, you know, your compression.
Yes, but is there no way we can get this car moving?
Oh, yeah. You can stick a bomb under it.
What's up?
Oh, Harvey, I'm sorry. I'm afraid the car's kaput.
Lucky I was passing.
You weren't passing. They just flung you out the pub.
Stanley!
Is my car broken, then?
Oh, well, that's the layman's term for it, lady. Technical term is knackered.
Can't you fix it, then?
Of course I can fix it. I can fix anything. Question is, can you afford it?
We should have had these off of plates.
Tastes better. What?
Trade washing up and all.
It's only an Armstrong Sidley on sale here for 250 quid.
Why'd you let that fellow of ours for 40 for?
Auntie Frida let me in. She was just going out.
Hello.
Ain't you had no tea?
Yeah, but chips don't count.
I counted mine and one short.
Here, can have one of mine. How'd you know we was having chips tonight, Scamp?
I didn't. Mum told me to come round and show you my English book.
Ah, God, what's you been up to now?
I better make a cup of tea.
Gold star, eh?
What?
I won first form composition prize.
Oh, you never? Oh, that's bloody marvellous.
Listen, once upon a time, right back even before the First World War, there was a poor servant girl who lived in the country who fell in love with her boss's son, and they had a baby together, even though they weren't married.
Hey, that was between you and me. I told you not to tell anyone.
I didn't tell anyone. I wrote it down.